So now if you go to the grocery store, everyone is in a effing rush. And they're pissed off in traffic and honk. I do it too. Honking their horn.
Yeah.
It takes a longer time to find a parking spot. You're all pissed off. Get out of my way. It's all about me, me, me. Whereas before, when I say before, I'm not talking people go, oh yeah, in the olden days. I'm not talking the fucking 1920s. I'm talking even the 90s. Even the early 2000s. People would actually go out and they would go on the weekend. They go to the farmer's market. They go to, independent butcher that they'd buy their meat from, right? They go to their own, independent cheese store where the person had fresh cheese, right? Like I used to live downtown on Queens Quay. And I remember this when I was younger at the World Trade Center. And on the weekends, I'd ride my bike to Kensington Market. You know who's been to Kensington Market?
No.
You guys know where that is?
Yeah. I know where it is, but no.
So Kensington Market was so amazing. Like I either go with a friend of mine or my girlfriend at the time. I would ride my bike. I had like these whatever, I guess, bags that were part of the bike that attach on. And I would go and buy everything fresh. They had a fish store there. You can buy all kinds of fish, all fresh. They had this cheese store that had fucking like cheese that's like 100 years old. The place stunk, but it had like over 1,000 varieties of cheese, right? Then you can go to the butcher and like a whole variety of stuff. They had a bakery as well too. And then they had tons of places to buy fruits and vegetables. And everybody would go out and it'd be like everyone's enjoying themselves. And they go sit at a cafe and on the patio, whatever. There's a store that was selling incense. There's a store that's selling this. There's a store that sells like, kitchenware. And everybody was out. Those stores, I mean, now they're kind of like, what would you call them? Like, kind of like the artsy stores. So they're barely surviving because they've lost most of their, everyone's too busy again now, right? Whereas then you would interact, you talk to people, you'd have enough time to stop and have a conversation with the waitress or whatever, or someone who's serving you, or the person who owns the butcher shop. You have a talk, hire your kids, blah blah blah. Now none of that happens. There's no human interaction. It's all done through AI. That's it. When you order on Uber Eats, you fucking pay on there. You're not talking to a real person. No, nothing at all. So that interaction's gone. So we've become actually even more antisocial, and what it's making us do. It's making us, any future purchases that we're going to make, we're going to prefer to choose this avenue of AI and opposed to going out and actually meeting people. And that goes with traveling. People book their traveling shit just online.
Oh, they do.
Like whether it's like sell off vacations or whatever, anyway, aircanada.com, whatever. Before, you'd actually go in and sit down with a travel agent. Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever did that or if your parents ever did.
No, but I always used to wait outside that one in Walmart because when I was a kid, my parents were like, we can't afford to go on a vacation. Like, we can't afford to fly anywhere. We're just going camping. Yeah. But I would just like watch and be like, I wonder where they're going.
Yeah. So back then, I remember I actually had a travel agent. Yeah. I forgot her fucking name. I don't know if it was Kelly.
It must have been really good.
I actually had her for over 10 years. But over the last 15 years, I've never even used one. And this person knew exactly the type of places I liked. She knew, what I was into, blah, blah, blah. So she'd always have suggestions for me. And I would tell her, okay, I've got this time free. I want to book a vacation. It's me plus whoever. And she'd call me back with like 8 different options. And I'd tell her maybe yay, no, give us more information. She'd come back and finally we'd book something. And that was the only way I traveled. Even if I was flying just from city to city, I would call her and she'd book my flight. But now everything's done online. And it's just done in the masses. Like people just go to these all-inclusive vacations and like we go like cattle. And they'll have like one fucking rep at the hotel who's never even there. And your experience is whatever, tough shit. You booked it. That's that. That's that. It's not really personable anymore. And I feel that we're, even with cars now, you guys see what's happened with cars? So dealerships are dying. They're done. People are buying online.
Oh, I see. And actually, I've seen something.
They deliver the cars right to your door.
I've seen this. I'm like, you literally just pick the car out online, and they have.
And you have a 30-day refund policy. You can return the car if you don't like it within 30 days.
Car vending.
Are you 30 days?
Car vending machines now. You literally car vending machines.
If you go to in Hong Kong,
where have I been?
In Hong Kong and even in Dubai, I think in Dubai, but Hong Kong, they have car vending machines where you can buy Ferraris and Lambos for $500,000. And literally, it's like the size of a skyscraper. and they're all on elevators, and the car comes all the way down and comes out.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That's that.
I mean,
Like
I'm
Tokyo
sorry.
Drift.
But a ton
That's
of people are buying cars online because they've created the image that car salesmen are sleazy and they want to rip you off and blah, blah.
Well,
So
you're not wrong.
it's just now you buy it online. You've got 15 days, 30 days to try the car out. You don't like it, you can return it, right? Automatically. But it's not the same experience. If you go in, you talk to a person, you tell them what kind of car you're looking for, blah, 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 blah. He'll give you so many different options. You get to touch the car, feel the car, go for a test drive. All of that human connection is being eliminated.
That's what happened when I bought my car. So I had saved up and I had $13,000. Well, I shouldn't say I saved up. My grandmother gifted me money anyway. So I had saved that aside for a vehicle, but that's what I was doing. I was online literally night after night after night. And then I said, fuck this. And I swear the dealership closed at 9 o'clock. I Ubered there at 8 o'clock. I had $3,000 cash and a cashier's check for $10,000. And I walked in there with a hoodie and track pants. Like, you've seen me like exactly like you're wearing, Cam. I walked in there. I'm like, hey, I want to buy a car. The girl at the front looked at me like I was a joke first and foremost. She thought I was going to probably rob them. And I was like, that's what it kind of looked like. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I said, I don't want to walk to work tomorrow. I said, I'm not leaving here without a car. And she said, well, first of all, even if you buy a car today, we have to get insurance or whatever on it. And then we have to get a safety and everything done. So it does take a few days before we can release it.
Yeah, that's where the ministry and transfer the ownership over.
But I'm so glad I went because within an hour, I had already picked because I got into the car. I physically touched it as soon as I saw the look of it. But I can tell you if they took pictures of it online, I probably would have just passed
it.
Yeah, because it was a Dodge Dart.
And too many options.
Yeah. And so within an hour, I had my vehicle, and within after the following weekend, I think it was like an Easter weekend, and right after the long weekend, I got my car on like the Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love my beast.
And so now imagine
That's true.
imagine with Gen, I think it's Gen Z. Imagine with Gen Z, all of their purchases, anything that they buy as a consumer is like 90% online. Now, imagine you take that same person and they have to now interact with another human being to make a purchase. So that's why you see all these meltdowns online where they're yelling at, like, when they get to when they're checking in for a flight, or they're having all these meltdowns in a retail store because they don't know how to interact with people. They get fucking anxiety. They overreact because they're like, this is taking too long, because they have no patience. They're so used to online just pressing a button and getting what
I
they
know,
want.
girls, that would be a great skit.
Karens.
Oh, Karens, there you go.
That would be a great
There's another
skit.
thing, right?
Which
And now,
Karen do you want to be?
because of this, what's happening is most of the purchases that people are making, because before it'd be one-on-one, you have to deal with somebody, they're now being done on your phone. So those jobs are going to be gone. Car salesman, this, that, they're all going to be gone. It's just going to be all online. Like, more people today, I believe, buy tires online than they do in a store. It's just so much easier to do
Ridiculous.
it, right? So the drawback, the negative effect of all of this, I feel that this is going to create more mental health issues, people having fucking meltdowns and cracking because they have to deal with people. It's also going to make us not care about other people as much, because the interaction's gone. When you interact with people and you talk, like I said, if you were to go to the same butcher shop every single week, he's going to talk to you, how are your kids, you're going to create a relationship with that individual, right? So that person also feels good because their life is being fulfilled because they feel like they're doing a really good job. So a lot of the jobs that we do nowadays, do you honestly feel you have that kind of fulfillment? No, because most of the shit, again, is going online. But if you go to other countries, even like in Europe, the people still go out. Like, when I was in Paris, I couldn't believe, like, when I went to their grocery store, like, the biggest bar of cheese they had was like the size of like a jumbo chocolate bar here.
Yep.
You go to fucking Costco, it's a brick. It's bigger than this laptop. You can buy cheese that big of a block. So people in Europe, they will go out every 3 to 4 days and buy fresh produce. They'll go to the baker and get fresh bread. They'll get fresh fish, fresh meat, fresh cheese.
Oh my God,
And
that
they know
makes
everyone.
sense now.
What?
Do you remember when I was telling you how I dated a Bosnian guy?
Yeah.
I couldn't get my head wrapped around my finger why he insisted everything must be fresh. Because I guess
you
that's
go.
why. Yeah. He
100%.
didn't want to put things in the freezer and wait for it to eat it later. He wanted to just go out and get it while it's fresh. Like,
You know that like in most, like, when I was in Paris and also a lot of European cities, their kitchens are very small, meaning they have a small fridge and the freezer is very tight. They don't freeze shit. We have so many preservatives in our food that the shelf life, like I bought apples from Costco and they've been sitting on my counter for
Me
2
too.
months.
Me too.
And they're still haven't bruised.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I
because
threw them out.
It's sprayed with that shit.
Oh my God.
Like pesticide shit. It's like
and so I threw them out. It's
I
like,
didn't.
what the
Mine
hell?
are still there.
Yeah, because I was like 2 months later, how can this shit not have even gotten one bruise on it? Whereas if you like, I know like even when I was in Paris and I stayed there for a little while, the buddy of mine who I stayed with, he would go out, he would work every day, and whenever he came home, he always had bought something to eat, something to add in, like whether he bought like fresh parsley or cheese or bread. There's always, and I was like, buddy, why don't you just like buy this shit, go out one Sunday, buy it all, and you have to buy it again for like 2 weeks? Because I'm not doing that. I'm not going to buy bread. It's going to sit on my counter for 2 weeks. I'm going to buy bread today and we're fucking eating it today. That's how they are.
No, I get it.
And they're like that with meat as well. Like if they buy fish or chicken or beef, they eat it within the same day. They're not going to be like us where we freeze a ton of shit. They're not into that kind of stuff. Or even a lot of the stuff that we buy, even a lot of the meat that we buy or chicken, it's already been pre-marinated or pre-cooked and just frozen. You just put in the oven and or in the microwave.
It makes us sound as a society we're so gluttonous compared to like Western society. We're out here with our freezers and our deep freeze fridges and we're just like stocking up like it's.
Well, that's because Western society is not that old. But if you go to European or Middle Eastern society, they've been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And even the Middle East, they do have frozen shit. I'm not saying they don't, but the way that they make dinner. So most people who live in the Middle East have servants. So they have a driver, they have a cook, they have a maid, because labor is very, very cheap. Okay. So the driver, I'm not even exaggerating, will go out 4-5 times every day just to pick up shit. Milk, eggs, fresh bread, meat, every day. Instead of them buying, like I said, enough meat for the week and they can afford it. But no, they'll do it daily or every second or third day. They're not going to go out and buy like a shitload of chicken, like how you can buy like you can go to Costco and buy 3 whole chickens or like 20 chicken breasts in one tray.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But they don't do that there. They'll buy like, if it's good, they're a family of 4, they'll buy 6 chicken breasts today and make them. And tomorrow, if they want to have fish, they'll go to the fish market and buy it fresh. Right. So I find, there are advantages to online shopping and whatever. I just feel that in the long run, there's going to be way more disadvantages. And because people, as human beings, we like to interact. Humans like to socialize. And that's being taken out of the equation. And what's going to be the result of that? There's going to be way more people with mental health issues.
100%.
Way more people, especially the youth. Like I said, Gen Z, and as well as the millennials, they don't fucking know how to interact at all.
It's also etiquette too that they're gonna lose.
They don't have any.
They don't know how to like
Talk to people.
make eye contact. Like I'm not kidding you. When I worked at my previous job, one of my main responsibilities was hiring and terminating people. Right, but you would not believe the amount of people that would walk. Their parents would walk in and say, "I'm applying for a job on behalf of my kid," or they'd come for the interview and they'd bring their parent into the interview room.
What? How old are these people?
These people are over 18 years old. You have to be 18 to work in there.
It's not even
so
just
this is
that,
so me and my boss would be like, if you can't go to an interview room without having anxiety. We had a girl, I'm not even lying to you. She had never picked up a broom in her life, and it wasn't hard. It was just basic sweeping and cleaning washrooms. She couldn't figure out how to sweep. She had an actual anxiety attack on the floor, and she started picking at her eyelashes and her eyebrows in fetal position. We had to send her home in an ambulance because we were like, we didn't want her to go home and harm herself or anything. We were like, what the fuck? Then the same girl tried to get her job back and threatened suicide.
Oh my God.
Like, it's crazy.
No, that's
I know that's one
mental
extreme
illness.
example, but I'm not kidding you. She wasn't the first that like people would get so worked up on the floor learning how to clean a toilet or learning how to swipe something down, that they would actually be like, okay, I can't do this, I quit.
Yeah, I believe that. So that's parenting, right?